Here.
Barnhart.
Here.
Roothouse.
Here.
James.
Here.
Samowski.
Here.
Arnold.
Okay, we do have a quorum. Zach, Chamber of Commerce report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening to the City Council. Happy 2025. Here's your first Geneseo Chamber of Commerce report of the year. Our 2025 membership drive is underway. We do a calendar cycle of renewing our memberships as opposed to monthly. So all memberships are now due, and we're working to not only renew memberships, but to hopefully get some new members and go towards our goal of 300 member businesses. So we are optimistic that we will achieve that goal this year. We've seen 8 consecutive years of membership growth at the Geneseo Chamber. 2025 will mark 9 years. So we're looking forward to that. Past event recaps. So we had the Geneseo Christmas Walk on Saturday, December 14th. We started off with the Jingle Run. And as we were starting the Jingle Run, an ice storm comes in right at the beginning. So it's all about balancing. Do we do this with the ice storm? Not. Thank goodness, and I want to express my appreciation and gratitude for the Geneseo Police Department and working with us to keep people safe, as well as Jason Brandow and the Geneseo City of Geneseo Street Department for staying ahead of things, for going and salting the entire route. We delayed the race 15 minutes so that we could get the salt out there. We had no slips or falls, so 117, I'll say crazy runners went out there and that stuff and did that, and then so the Jingle Run happened on December 14th, but then everything went downhill from there. It was a very difficult situation to manage, but ultimately we had to cancel all of the outdoor events and due to ice for safety purposes. So, but it was hard to say, well, the event's canceled because there's still a lot of stores that are open, restaurants who are counting on this to be one of their biggest days of the year, as well as churches who do meal sites. So we talked with some stakeholders, and eventually we came up with the Christmas Walk 2.0, which happened the following week, Saturday, December 21st, in which we had the State Street Illumination Sensation. And what we did is we parked the floats on State Street for people to go up and enjoy. We lit them at 5 o'clock, and that way the stores were still open, and we were able to salvage a good day for a lot of our businesses and our restaurants and for the community, right? It would not be cool, really, if we didn't get our big Christmas event. So I'm appreciative of all the volunteers who were able to commit to the second weekend. That was our biggest hurdle, was manpower and volunteers who weren't committed to a second weekend. How do we put on an event like this? Again, I want to commend Brandon, city leadership, and all of the department leadership for all of us putting our heads together to figure out how we could make a Christmas Walk 2.0 happen. And it was a great event. You know, I think a lot of people had a great time. It was only 4 days before Christmas. I couldn't believe that finally I was done with Christmas Walk and zap, it's Christmas already. So it was I joke that I'm the king of Christmas, but boy, did it give me a run for my money this year. So, but at the end of the day, all's well that ends well. We were able to do the Christmas Walk events, and we look forward to doing this all over again in 2025. The Shop Geneseo promotion is a promotion that took place during the holiday season. For every $100 that people spend, they enter to win prizes that are donated by Geneseo Chamber businesses. This year we had 38 prizes donated, and that's the most since we brought the promotion back 5 years ago. And we had 1,382 cards turned in. That's also the most cards that have been turned in since the promotion came back 5 years ago. So this year, the promotion generated over $138,000 for our local economy. And since 2020, when we brought the promotion back, Shop Geneseo has generated over $560,000 for Geneseo. So we're really proud of that. I mean, it's a small number in the grand scheme of things over 5 years, but for a small 2-person chamber of commerce, it's a lot of hard work, and we are proud of that figure. Also, through the Shop Geneseo promotion by itself this past year, on average, Geneseo Chamber member businesses saw a 1.7 times their return on investment. So we're pretty proud of that. Gift certificate sales. We sold a lot of gift certificates. $1,000 worth of gift certificates. Those are people who are buying the gift certificates. They can use them at over 100 businesses here in Geneseo. When you combine the gift certificate sales with the Shop Geneseo promotion, you're seeing 3.5 times your ROI for Geneseo Chamber member businesses on average. When you remove the banks who typically pay a little bit more, you actually see that ROI go up quite a bit. And so, again, we're proud of that. And that ROI, 3.5 times, it does not include the events that we do, the exposure that we do, our website, our social media. What's my point is that we're starting to see these measurable degrees of success at the Geneseo Chamber insofar as returns on investment, and that's something that businesses are looking for. So we'll be sharing that. You're all welcome to share that as well. But yeah, it's a lot of hard work in 2024, but we had another banner year, 294 members at the end. So we're proud of the work we did in 2024, but that's last year. Now we got a whole new year to focus on this year, and we are looking forward to it. Upcoming events. We'll be doing the Cupid's Cashback promotion, in which shoppers enter to win Geneseo Chamber gift certificates, gets them into stores. We're doing that February 13th through 15th. We may even try a little scavenger hunt thing to kind of get people to in the stores a little more to maybe find like Cupid's arrow, for example, and then they win like an extra $100. So we're working on that. And then we start planning tomorrow for the 2025 Geneseo Music Festival. So that's always a big popular event. And then the Geneseo Art Walk, we are planning that as well. That begins this week as well. So 2024 was an awesome year in some, and 2025 is going to be an even better year for Geneseo. So that's all I have for the Geneseo Chamber report. Happy to field any questions from the council.
Okay. Congratulations on a good year, Zach.
Thank you so much.
Okay, moving on. Item number 5 would be the city engineering report. Tyler?
Good evening, council. Not much has changed as far as construction projects. North Street, we're still on hold till spring for just some surface restoration. State Street's on hold till spring. And then the Geneseo Well, the manufacturer, is still working on remanufacturing the pit list for all brick. As far as designs go, we just provided a proposal for services for the Chicago Street sidewalk. We're gonna get plans done or, started this month on that. The pedestrian bridge, that's on hold until a grant is awarded. The Geneseo water system analysis, we're doing some different options and some estimates for that. Lauren's hopeful maybe by the end of this month, if not early next month, to sit down with the city and discuss those options. The Geneseo detention, we are putting together the required items for the DNR application. Once we get all those kind of together, we'll meet with the city and go over things before we submit it to the DNR for their review. And then the Olivia Drive water main extension, it's a small set of plans for that, and then permitting for water main extension there. So any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on. Item number 6 would be public comments related to agenda items. City ordinance allows members of the public to speak and give input up to 3 minutes. During public comment, there can be no debate or action by the city council at this time. Chief, anybody in the lobby? Ann, do you have anything? Okay, moving on. Mayor's comments. I have none at this time. City council comments. Any members of the council? Okay, city administrator comments, Brandon.
Yeah, the only note that I have is the COW meeting on the 28th will have the solar discussion back on the agenda. RSS will be here. We'll talk about contracts, financials of approving another solar array on the north side of town. So that'll be back on the 28th. And then pretty soon here, we're putting together some final planning on the Richmond Hill Park stage structure that we budgeted for and have been working with the Girl Scouts on. We've got a couple of grants that the Girl Scouts have helped us receive and apply for. So that's been a neat project. We'll have some plans and things to talk about with you guys potentially on the 28th about that too, and get that project lined up for the spring. That's it.
Okay, next on the agenda, item number 10 would be finance director comments, 10.1, treasurer's report and capital assets report as submitted.
All right, first up is the budget book. Overall, I would say all of our, for the most part, all of our line items came in either at or below budget, but all the funds did come within budget, which is good. I will have a couple transfers that'll be done. And then obviously with the audit, we'll book things back into the previous year, and we'll have some cash accruals that might update some of those line items. Any questions on the budget book? Sorry, trying to move the mouse. The links do not work. Okay, next is the treasurer's report. Again, as I said, a lot of them came in either at budget or above budget. It's nice to see that the general fund has grown. Obviously, we don't have a final number, but that's going to be pretty close to that. So going from the 6.7 to roughly 7.4 in there, so that's really good to see. And then we had a little bit of growth in some of the other funds. Questions on?
What would you say accounted for that mostly? I mean, no,
I would say, like for the general fund in general, I would say we had an increase in our sales tax revenues and income tax revenues. Those were like the big one, and our the interest from the bank, having that be so much more. It was increased so much that it definitely helped all the funds. Any other questions about any of the other ones? And then next is capital assets. Most of our projects have either finished up or are flowing into next year. But we do have a lot of the invoices in. So those projects, if they are in and completed, it says completed, or carried over if they need to carry over to the next year. And then for the capital summary sheet, for the next meeting, we'll have obviously the new capital sheet. Probably won't have a whole lot on it other than what the projects are. And then our capital summary sheet, we're going to do in a little bit different format. So that way it's easier to read. It's not in an Excel format. So look for that to change at the next meeting. And then just a recap from the department heads.
We have 3 ongoing projects right now. We have Circuit 5's 4160, 12470 conversion. We got a deal worked out with the railroad for an easement through there to be able to bore through it. And yeah, that was a 6-month process. So probably when the weather breaks, we'll have Hartco bore the tracks. That will help us complete that loop through there, convert Progress Lane, and then we have some poles on Exchange Street and a reclosure set. The materials are all bought for this project. It's just Hartco's boring is the only thing that we have left. We will be carrying over some funds for that. I think it's roughly like $14,000, not a huge amount. The SCADA project, it's about 75% done. River City is currently working on some of the trending and being able to communicate with the devices. Tomorrow we'll talk about when we're going to cut over to the new PLC and get that online and have both of them running at the same time. We should see that project end probably the beginning of February. And then Unit 2's overhaul. At the last council, I told you that our coolers failed. We got drawings back this week on recoring those drawings. They will be sent off. It's a 6-week process. So hopefully we can get that unit back up and running before spring, and then we'll continue on with that. So we will carry over SCADA funds, the remaining of the SCADA funds, and then the remainder of Unit 2's overhaul, which is roughly $38,000, something like that. And then we already had Unit 2, Phase 2, scheduled to buy parts to do a complete overhaul. Any questions?
In the public works side on the water, at our well, Tyler briefly touched on it. We are waiting for Albrecht to modify the pitless adapter. We don't have an estimated date on that. And we do have some bulkhead fittings in the pump house getting built. They're not going to be here till roughly the middle of February. So hopefully we can get back started on the well, well piping in the well house in March or whenever weather allows. Tyler also reached on or commented on North Street. We did go through all of the change orders and the credits and everything. So hopefully probably within the next few weeks, we'll have our last pay estimate from McClintock. Then we're just holding a retainer for, like you said, the seeding and dirt work that needs to be done. We did stop on Orange Street that we discussed. We'll start breaking ground as soon as we can in the springtime. And then there's just a lot of maintenance going on at the iron removal plants and the wastewater treatment plant currently, while we're waiting for weather. Any questions?
I'll do an update on the-
Range update is materials bought and waiting for warm weather to put the building together, the pads poured up there and all that fun stuff. So waiting for the weather to break and then get it built. Any questions?
Make a motion to approve the treasurer's report and capital asset reports as submitted.
Motion by Barnhart,
Second.
second by James. Roll call.
Samowski,
Yes.
James.
Yes.
Roothouse, Swanson.
Yes.
Barnhart.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item number 11 would be the approval of meeting minutes.
So there's no consent agenda tonight because the last meeting that we had in December was a city council meeting, so slightly different format look. All we have tonight instead of a consent is the meeting minutes. Not sure if you needed that tidbit or not, but you're welcome.
That means we have to read each one.
No.
Just make the motion to,
Happy with the minutes?
yep.
I'll make a motion to approve the 12/10/24 city council minutes as presented.
Motion by James,
Second.
second by Swanson. Roll call.
Barnhart.
Yes.
Swanson.
Yes.
Roothouse.
Yes.
James.
Yes.
Samowski.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Next on the agenda, item number 12 under administration, 12.1 would be the FFA annual presentation.
How do I like make it? Or just, it's okay. It can be.
Oh, you want to make it so it's,
like a presentation.
Okay. Hi, my name is Peyton Keys, and I'm a junior. I am one of the new co-chairs for the upcoming plot season.
Hello, my name is Mason Emmerich. I'm a freshman, and I'm also a new co-chairman for the plot committee.
Hello, my name is Jackson Frank. I'm one of the co-chairs and I'm a freshman.
So looking back at last year's season, our goals were to raise involvement within the plot and also have it be more student-led. Last year, we had 2 people that led it mostly, and it was a pretty good year.
So we had a meeting with Dan Baum for our seed and we bought, it looks like Wiffles 5086. That was the seed that seemed to go with our soil the best for both the plots. The plots vary quite a bit in the soil composition, and the plot right in front of the middle school is a better all-around soil. Our insurance came from Hanford Insurance. I don't know what exact percent that we got, but all of the tillage was done by Dusty Olson. The fertilizer came from River Valley, and I think we sprayed with Ag Pharmacy. The planting was Dan Baum. The seed we got from Dan Baum. So the chemicals and were from Ag Pharmacy. That was all the spraying that we had done for just fungicides and just to kill the weeds. And then the harvest was done by Dusty Olson with the 4-row combine.
So for prices, for the Wiffles seed, we spent $1,161.28. And for the spraying part from Ag Pharmacy, we spent $1,102.63. But so we got solid fertilizer also, but that was from River Valley and that was donated. And then for insurance, we got that from Hanford for $164. And the reason we wanted to get less donated is because we wanted our students to learn more responsibility and the risk of purchasing things for your farm.
So on May 15th, we planted. We used a 6-row planter from Dan Baum. He taught us how to be safe around it and overall just how to operate. All of the students that were there had the opportunity to actually drive the planter and plant a few rows if they chose. We learned how to check the soil depth and change the settings on the combine to make sure that we were planting at the proper height. We used a 6-row planter because that is what fits through the cemetery gates. So it might have been a little bit quicker if we had a bigger one, but for what we do, the 6-row planter works pretty well just because we are able to have a variety of kids, like multiple kids make 1 or 2 passes, and then we can trade off and teach the next kid. We also had additional informational meetings and a safety meeting. Our informational meetings ranged from learning about fungicides and different fertilizers that affected our crops and everything in between. We had various people come speak with us from Whiffles and River Valley and Ag Pharmacy. All of those people helped to teach us why we use what we use, and it also just overall helps us learn instead of just it being done for us. Our safety meeting, we used a 4420 combine from Dusty Olson. We learned all of the safety that goes with running a large vehicle like this. We were able to, at our safety meeting, drive it in his driveway just so that it wasn't in the field and we didn't risk damaging our crop. But then for the harvest,
we used Dusty's 4420 combine, and we got about 1,667 bushels total throughout both of the plots. And the average bushels per acre was 221.
We had 3 kids that went to help harvest. It was Saturday, I'm pretty sure. So lots of kids had various things going on, and it was kind of last minute, but we got the job done and it worked out pretty well. Right now, our corn is being stored at Hillsdale Elevator. And today we just had a meeting with a representative from
FS near German's Corner, if you know where that is, on the way to Kiwani.
we had a meeting with a representative from FS, and we talked about like what we should do with our corn that's currently in storage, if we should keep it in storage or sell it. Today we decided to sell about 20%, which was 334 bushels. And then we also decided to put one on hold for when the market reaches a higher price. And then, so that wraps up our 2024 plot from last year. So for 2025, we had a meeting before we went on winter break for school, and we talked about what we wanted to plant, and we decided on soybeans from Pioneer. So tomorrow we will have a meeting with Marty McMagnus from Pioneer to go over what seed types would best be suitable for our plot since it is such a low acreage, but what can we get the best product from. And then we have spring tillage, we will be using Dusty Olson again. And then our fertilizers, we will have an upcoming meeting to talk about what fertilizers are best for our soil. We had soil samplings done that got sent off, and they're currently on their way back. So after we get that back, we'll have a meeting so that we know and we can learn what fertilizers we can best use to better our plots. And then we will have a few more meetings throughout the year to finish planning everything once everything is set. Our goals for this upcoming year are to, again, be more student involved, to have a bigger chapter or a bigger committee, which right now we have about 15 kids that were interested for this upcoming year. We wanted to have 3 co-chairs instead of just having one because I'm a junior. So next year I will obviously be graduating. So then these 2 freshmen will be able to take it over and continue on with their information that they have learned and teach the grades that are coming up. We also wanted to be able to better do it ourselves instead of just having lots of things given to us. We are very appreciative of all of the people that have helped, which a lot of them are our alumni members, and they spend a lot of time giving to us and helping us out. Do you have any questions?
Very nice presentation, by the way. I love that you're all doing this. Any surprises from this year? Anything that was kind of unusual? And I think it was a pretty good year from weather and all that, but
I would say since it was our first year with the middle school plot, it was pretty cool to see the differences in the numbers between the two. The middle school plot had a higher acreage or bushels per acre, while the cemetery had a lower one, which also, if you look at the layout of them, the middle school one is on flatter land, so, and the cemetery is kind of on a hill, but they were both pretty good.
Very nice. Well, nicely done, and
Thank you.
congratulations on a good year, and look forward to the presentation next year.
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you.
Okay, 12.2 under administration would be the 2024 building inspections projects presentation by Rick.
All right. So I just put together a quick little slideshow like we did last year on the permits from this past year, some new construction that took place. We had a relatively good year for permitting with the storms that we had. We had 228 roofing permits, so that's a lot. But that does help our budget line for the total. But so that's the list of our permits that we had this year. Ended up with total 572 different permits between the forum. And yeah, $155,000 for a total out of them. So on the next slide is our accumulating year from 2010 to 2024, our new single family homes per year, and then the value of the homes added total. This year it seemed like we had more than 7, but in 23, 2 of those 9, one of them started in December, one in November, so they were technically really built mostly in 24. So that's why I kind of felt like we had a little bit more than 7 this year, but still currently have 5 going on right now that are in the process. They obviously slow down this time of year a little bit, but we do have 5 that are going right now. And through the 15 years that I've been here, you can see the average of 5.4 new single family homes a year, which is really pretty good for a community our size in Illinois. To be getting, 5 or 6 new homes a year, that's really good. So for the triplexes, when we've kind of been talking about in the past few years, the transitional housing that we kind of lack as far as the triplexes, duplexes, condos situation, to where we can get some of the older folks out of the bigger homes so that we can move our families in to the bigger homes out of their starter home. So we've seen there in the years from 18 to 23, we've had not very many of them built. In 22, we had a duplex and a triplex built, and those filled quickly. But for the good news is with the Olivia Drive project coming up, we got 2 triplexes started over there. One is just the foundation is in and is waiting, but then the second one is in that picture there. They've got the roof all on and closed and started getting the inside ready for the utilities to go in. So I talked to Jeremy Dodge this afternoon, and they have 3 of the 6 units already sold in these 2 buildings here. So I think once they get a model unit built, I think those numbers will go even faster. So, but 3 of them sold before you even can see one. That's pretty good. So I think this is Olivia Drive is going to be real positive for us to get some people out of these bigger homes. On the next page, this is just the list of the homes that we had in 23 and 24, the addresses where they took place. and then the 2 triplexes that are on there, just with the start dates. And no necessarily a start date, but a permit dates. That's when they were pulled. And then, so on the commercial side, this 2024, we had 11 commercial projects between, new ones, and most of them are renovations. You can see there in the kind of darker yellow, the list of ones that we had this year. 2 of them were replacing buildings from the tornado that took them out. So 2 of them are weather related there. It kind of goes along with our roofing permits, but we got Miller's new development on Chicago Street. Urban construction renovated the building for the old Becker and Becker building. It was a pretty good project. Turned out really nice. Green River Hobbies did a little addition to their building. Innovative Machine was the replacement of the tornado building, along with the Kiesels. And then MediaCom did a big remodel of their property. Turned out really nice. They got some real nice meeting rooms over there now for them. And Bob Pettit has bought the old Sieben building on College Avenue up there kind of by Ogden, and is just putting a ton of money into it, which is really good to see. It's going to get used instead of just sit there and deteriorate, because that building, the use that we had as a seed building no longer really exists anymore. So to see him turn it into what he has so far is really exciting and neat. He's got some pretty neat sections in there that he's got rented out. St. Malachy's Church replaced a ton of windows in the school side. We'll see Woodridge getting started here pretty soon. They tore the parking lot out and moved some dirt, but then not really sure what's going on over there, but they've come to a stop. So the project's obviously still on. It just has hit a lull here. Yeah, the Habaneros remodel and reopening down there. Not sure everybody's been in there, but man, they've done an amazing job with that area or that section. So they've run into an issue where the kitchen's not big enough, so they're adding on to their kitchen already, which is a good thing, I think. So yeah, so with this year we've kind of tried to push down on some of the less valued homes in town and try and get some of them removed. So the next few slides are some of the houses that we've been working on for a few years that we did finally get taken down. 420 East Palace Row, which is on Palace and Williams, yep. And then the second one's 530 North Meadow, where the house fire took place a couple of years ago, and the homeowner there was going back and forth with the insurance companies. So we finally kind of pushed him to come up with a deal with the insurance company, and he sold the property before the demo. The neighbors bought it and has it cleared, and it's an amazing lot there. It's a rather large lot that they're looking at different ideas on what they can do with it. And probably the biggest one that I've been working on since I've started here is 125 East Main Street, the yellow house next to Country Companies. We're able to work with Country Companies. They have bought this property and removed it. We worked with them to kind of tag team on the owner to try to move forward with getting rid of this property. So that looks a whole lot better around there. Worth Incorporated has bought 117 North Russell, which is the old laundromat. They have pulled the demolition permit for this. They're just kind of waiting for their demolition guy to get done with his farming and get caught up so that he can tear this down for them. So that'll be coming down pretty soon. I don't know what the plans are in that area for them right now. Probably the next thing is a significant cleanup. I just wanted to throw this in there from this year just because the property at 505 East Locust has been an eyesore for many, many years, and local guy has bought it and is flipping it, and the transformation there, just getting the trees out there was one thing, but now new siding and landscaping and stuff on is really super improved. The outside and the inside's completely gutted, started over. So it really is a nice house. It's good bones. So
saving it and bringing it back. It's really good for our community there. Another cleanup Worth Incorporated right around by the laundromat there. They cleaned up this old pool store building. They're just added storage for them for their air conditioner units and stuff like that. But this building, once they got into it, really needed a lot of work. So to see a structure saved there is really nice, and they've done a good job or a nice job cleaning the outside of it up there. And our last kind of push for cleanup in April, the trailer park down on West Main Street was sold to a new owners out of Chicago area. And we're working with the past owner trying to get stuff done, which didn't get us very far, but the new owners have, with a couple different meetings, really cooperated with us and have started getting some good cleanup in there and kind of holding some of their tenants to keeping it cleaned up. But there's 3 buildings that were removed in there that were really falling apart. We're really trying to focus on Madison Avenue. That's the next slide. Just the curb appeal along Madison Avenue. Some of it's cleaned up. We're going to wait for the spring. They're going to buy the tenants paint and have the tenants paint their structures. So hopefully we'll see it even improve a little bit better this year. We had some trees trimmed out of there. Working with, so this is on some different areas throughout the park there, but block building, which used to be, I think, the laundromat in there. There was some junk laying around. They got that all cleaned up. And one of the tenants decided to cut down some of the trees along Main Street and left the bushes all there. So they've got that all cleaned up. Next page, just more pictures of the different sections where we're concentrating on within the park. So that's all I have. Does anybody have any questions or comments? All right, thank you.
I can say that the neighbors on the Madison Avenue side are very well pleased with the cleanup that they've seen so far and have reached out to me and had said thank you. So they're very happy with how it's looking. And I just told them there's more to come. So, but they're very pleased. So thank you.
Okay, moving on. 12.3 under administration would be the Senator Orlano lease agreement.
So Senator Winstoller holds an office. Don Tubbs is his local district rep that leases or is in the space in the municipal building here, primarily representing him. He's transitioning out of office or did a couple of days ago. And Lee Arlano is our new senator. They wish to continue the lease agreement with the city of Geneseo for that one office space. It's a good deal for us. It's an unused office space in the building. They're here once or twice a month to use the space. I proposed to them that we increase their rent by $15 per month for this one-year term running from now through January of 2026 at $295 per month.
I'll make a motion to approve the office space lease from Senator Arlano from 1/9/25 to 1/08/26 for $295 per month.
Motion by James.
I'll second.
Second by Barnhart. Roll call.
Samowski,
Yes.
James,
Yes.
Roothouse, Swanson.
Yes.
Barnhart.
Motion carries. 12.4 we're tabling, correct? Okay. Moving on, 12.5, because we don't have the votes. Just so everybody knows.
Pardon?
I'm sorry.
What did you say?
We don't have enough membership of the council for a 3/4 vote. Yeah. 12.5 under administration, O-25-02, the vacating of an easement on Spring Street.
So this is an ordinance vacating a utility easement on, this is correlated with the project that we put an RFP out Today's builders were the proposal that the council accepted for the 2 parcels on First Street. This is, so Spring Street was vacated on the easternmost parcel. And so when that street was vacated, the lot or the vacated street was split into half to both property owners down the middle. We retained a utility easement on that ground. We are proposing to vacate the side that will be sold to today's builders because there are no utilities on that part of the what is the current easement. And we, as part of the discussion with today's builders and the bid process, we want to give them the ability to propose their final design of their building to be able to utilize some of that land. So that's what this would do. We are still in talks with today's builders, working with Ansel Glenk, reviewing contracts and getting that together with Jeremy Dodge and today's builders. But this is just another step in the process to get that done. And then Ansel Glenk and myself and Jeremy will work out the details of the contract, and hopefully that deal will be done soon.
Motion to approve O-25-02.
Second. Motion by Roothouse, second by James. Roll call.
Barnhart,
Yes.
Swanson,
Yes.
Roothouse,
Yes.
James.
Yes.
Samowski.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item number 13, 13.1 would be the approval of city bills. As motion by Samowski,
Second.
second by Swanson. Roll call.
Samowski. Sorry. James.
Yes.
Roothouse. Swanson.
Yes.
Barnhart.
Yes.
Okay, motion carries. Item number 14 would be public comment related to all their items. City ordinance allows members of the public to speak and give input up to 3 minutes. During public comment, there can be no debate or action by the city council at this time. Ann, do you have anything? Chief, did anybody come to the lobby? Anybody from FFA have a question? No? Okay. Yeah, thank you. Item number 15 would be adjournment. Motion by Roothouse,
Second.
second by Swanson. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We're adjourned.